Hey, welcome to WTDR Radio, otherwise known as
Welcome to Dad Rock.
This episode is a very special one. Episode 2. I'm going to be talking about songs to cruise to. You know, a nice day like today, the best kind of songs are out.
Austin?
Yeah?
I thought you were going to help me bring in the groceries. Why are you wearing my sunglasses? And why do you have a toothpick in your mouth? You never chew on toothpicks. Oh, you're filming one of your Dad Rock episodes. Okay, see you later.
Hey! Welcome to Dad Rock, Episode 2. Now, I just want to let you know that I was about to go on a nice cruise in the car to listen to this music to, and, Daniela needed to use the car, my sweet wife. She had to run some errands, which is fine. Plus, it started raining. Now, speaking of the weather, it's been very rainy and overcast the last couple of days, and it really kind of knocked me off kilter for a while. It made me dizzy, and this kind of weather usually makes me off. So, you know what, let's run a clip. Now, as you can see in this clip, I just was kind of dizzy, I had some vertigo, I wasn't feeling well, I was off, I just couldn't get it together. So I had to work my way through it, and that's what happens a lot in life, you gotta work your way through it. And as you can see here, I kind of started my triumphing. And I worked my way through it, and if you see there, I'm on my way to the garage, and here I am. Let's do this. Now let's go over some albums and some songs that are perfect to drive to, whether you're going on a long drive down the highway somewhere out of state, or you're driving down the shore, or if you're taking some back roads. I'm going to go over my favorites, and in the comments I would like you to go over your favorites. I'm going to try to keep the list small. It's always hard for me to do, but I got my CDs, got some vinyl, and I got my cooler. So once again,
Welcome to Dad Rock. Episode 2.
I'm going to start this off by talking about CDs, otherwise known as compact discs. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Black Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. It's on a lot of my top lists because I just love it. I love every song. It's a little bit different, a little bit more detailed, I would say, than some of the other earlier Sabbath albums before this. Great for driving. Another one is Power Slave from Iron Maiden, another classic. Now the song The Rime of the Ancient Mariner always has a story stuck in my head from when I was driving. I used to drive to a parking lot and take a bus from the parking lot to work in New York City when I worked at DC Comics. So one day I was driving my car and it broke down right during the breakdown of Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is one of the best songs from Iron Maiden and one of the best breakdowns ever. So right when the bass started playing, during that breakdown, my car broke down and I coasted off the highway, off the ramp, off the exit ramp, and was able to manage to get the car to the parking lot, into a parking spot, and then I took the bus to the city, and when I got to work, I called the auto mechanic and had him tow the car back to his shop. So every time I hear Rime of the Ancient Mariner, I have that story to share. Do you have any stories to share when it comes to Iron Maiden or Black Sabbath? Please let me know in the comments. Now we're going to talk about vinyl. Now this first record I would love to talk about, and it's probably not as popular as other records from this band, but I would like to talk about it. The record is called Turbo from Judas Priest. Probably not their best album. Many people will say it's not their best album, but I absolutely love this album, and I think it's probably number one for driving to, going on a nice cruise. First of all, the album's called Turbo. It's got the song Turbo Lover, but it also has beautiful songs on this. Rock/metal anthems, 80s vibes. I mean, let's drive. Locked In, Private Property, Parental Guidance, Out in the Cold, Hot for Love. So many awesome songs on this album. This is a prime album for driving. Now, when it comes to driving in the summertime, I really think a lot about 80s rock bands, hair bands, whatever you want to call it. I have no shame. I listen to them. Def Leppard. I really love this album. Hysteria. This album, Hysteria, is awesome. And then the song Hysteria really reminds me of driving. You know, it reminds me of having the windows down, nice summer evening, and having a good time on my way to, I don't know, maybe a rock concert. Who knows? Also, so many good songs on this album, especially side A. It's got Women, Rocket, Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon it. And I also mentioned already Hysteria, but there's another song. The last song on this album is called Love and Affection. I don't know if it was ever a hit or anything like that, but it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. And while I'm speaking of Def Leppard, I always have to throw in Pyromania. This is probably most people's favorites above Hysteria. You can let me know if you're a Def Leppard fan which one you like better. I lean towards Hysteria, but then when I'm listening to Pyromania, I think this one's better, especially with songs like Photograph. So let me know what you think. This record makes you want to get wild. This compilation screams at me to hit the highway with great, amazing songs like Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, Looks That Kill, Too Young to Fall in Love, Smoke in the Boys Room, Home Sweet Home, Wild Side, Girls, 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 Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, Same Old Situation, Don't Go Away, Without You, and some other songs that I don't know as well, but I still listen to sometimes. But if you go from here, the top to there, that's really all you need in my opinion. Now I want to talk about two songs that are great to drive to. One of them is off of this beautiful album, Led Zeppelin 4. The name of the song is Going to California. One of my favorite songs to drive to. When I was like 22 years old, I was thinking about going to California for a while, meet up with my friend, and just live there for a little while, check it out. And I wasn't sure if I was going to go, but then that song came up on the radio, and I was like, you know what, I'm definitely going. And I went, and it was one hell of an experience. The other song is AC/DC Highway to Hell. I know everyone's going to mention that. A lot of people are going to mention that. What about Highway to Hell? That's a great one. Well, it is. Another thing about AC/DC, I just want to mention, we have the vinyl. It's actually at the turntable now. It's not here. Powered Up. That new album from them is awesome. And I love the songs on that album. Really great stuff. It's always great to see a wonderful band that's been around for so many years, a brilliant band like AC/DC, still doing it, and still doing an amazing job at what they do, with putting out an album like that one, which is so awesome. It's one of my favorite albums since like a couple decades ago, maybe.
Hey, it's Elliott. Sometimes my father lets me listen to the music in the car because I go on a lot of car rides with him, and usually I listen to Plastic Surgery Disasters from the Dead Kennedys and Bad Brains. Now, for Plastic Surgery Disasters, my favorite songs are Terminal Preppy, Well Paid Scientist, Buzz Bomb, Forest Fire, and for Bad Brains is Don't Need It, Sailing On, Attitude, Regular Band in DC. And Adam from the Beastie Boys couldn't have said it any better. The best punk/hardcore album of all time. And I agree with him. And if you notice, both of these albums are full of energy. And car rides, I'm excited because we're going somewhere, and I think the energy definitely suits it well.
Now I have this brand new feature to introduce to the show. I want to let you know that this cooler is actually magic, and I could use it to tap into other people from all around the world remotely. So I have a very special guest. It's my old friend John. I've known him for years, and I asked him, I was like, please be on this show. I know you want to talk about stuff. I know you like to talk about music. You're a big music fan, and he's also a dad. So I asked him, please be on the show, and he agreed to be on the show. So let me show you how we do this. This cooler now when I turn it this way, all I have to do is snap my fingers, and I tune right in with them. Are you guys ready for this? Let's do it. Now, I'm really excited about this. This is the first time that we're using this magic cooler in order to tune in live, remotely, to a special guest. And my special guest for this show is John, my old friend. And I'm really hoping that he's as excited as I am to be doing this. So I'm going to snap my fingers. So I take my fingers like this, well, this hand, and there he is. Hey John, welcome to Dad Rock.
Hello? Can you hear me?
John.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. John? Welcome to Dad Rock.
Hey, I've got a lot of things to do today, so we could just hurry up, wrap this up, get this over with, okay?
Okay, well, Do you want to contribute by sharing your favorite song and your favorite album to drive on the highway to?
Favorite
John?
song too? I mean, when you asked me to do this, you mentioned favorite dad rock album to drive to. So I'm just going to talk about the album, okay? All right?
Okay, good.
So yeah, anyway, for me, it's Purple. Second album by STP. Great dad rock album. You know, great to listen to drive to. Since that's what we're talking about here. I mean, Interstate Love Song is a great driving song. Obviously, Unglued, Vaseline, Big Empty. A lot of hits here. You know, if you don't know it, you don't own it. Are you even a dad? Can you even call yourself a dad? Yeah, I don't think so.
Sorry, man.
Keep laughing, buddy. Real funny.
Sorry.
Yeah, funny stuff.
Well, thanks for joining us on the. Oh, well, I think he just left us. Okay, well, let's move. I wasn't expecting that. Let's move on. Let's move on to something else, shall we? I really hope that you enjoyed that new feature that we had. We're going to be using that a lot more in future episodes, so I hope you had fun with it. I mean, I did, but I hope you did too. But I'm going to talk about a few more albums before I close out, so let's just get on with it. So I'm going through my notes here, and I'm checking off the items that we have already covered, and there's a few more albums in my notes that I would still like to cover real quickly. So we'll do a few more records and then a couple of CDs before we close this episode out. Now, first I want to start with Pink Floyd Animals. Highly recommended driving music, especially if you want something more mellow to mellow out to. Maybe it's late at night, you want to drive and just really want to feel something. I would strongly recommend Animals from Pink Floyd. The last record that I want to show you is one of my favorite rock and roll albums of all time. Black Crowes Amorica. This album is so good, and I think it's by far their greatest record. It's the third album, and from what I read, I don't even think it sold as well as their first two records, which is just crazy to me. This is beautiful music from start to finish. I love all the songs on this album, and it is so perfect to drive to. Please, if you haven't checked out this album, check it out. Black Crowes. This is a classic. Now I wanted to introduce another band, Sonic Youth, because I wanted to throw something a little bit different to you. And Sonic Youth to me, is I would call it post-punk or alternative rock or indie rock. Any of those categories work for me. But it's something a little different. That's why I wanted to show these CDs to you. And this is their later era stuff. Their later era consists of their latest album before they broke up was called The Eternal, along with Sonic Nurse and Murray Street. Now, Rather Ripped to me is like a collage of beautiful guitar sounds, and I think it's one of their catchiest albums, if not their catchiest album. So once again, a collage of just all kinds of guitar sounds, Jazzmaster guitars, which our favorite guitar is Jazzmaster usually. So very highly recommended to check out. Sonic Nurse is great, Murray Street is great, and of course this is their classic album. From their how's that? Good? Mm-hmm. Now this one, Daydream Nation, is their classic album that everyone has as their go-to record, and it's really incredible as well. So I want to just talk a little bit about Sonic Youth because they really are great driving music. Finally, if you're looking for something mellow and dreamy, Radiohead is always my go-to. I listen to Radiohead while driving all the time, or if I'm jogging or walking, they are one of my favorite bands. I know a lot of you watchers and listeners are more into the heavy stuff, but if you want to mellow out to something, Radiohead and Sigur Rós, great for driving, especially for long, scenic trips. And you could just throw on anything from Radiohead or Sigur Rós. I mean, really, if the way you mix it doesn't matter, it will always work out. Now, if you see what I'm doing here, I'm just showing you that you could mix and match any way with these bands, with these albums, when you're driving, especially for a scenic route, because they all work. one or the other, one before the other. It doesn't really matter. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And please, 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 as always, comment below your favorite songs or albums to drive to. Heavy stuff recommended, especially if you talk about more like the metal and the rock, but also if you want to do more mellow stuff as well. Anything, really. And please follow us on social media. Elliott Fulham on Instagram, Little Punk People on Instagram. We're also on TikTok. Elliott Fulham on TikTok, Little Punk People on TikTok. And of course, we're still on Facebook and we're on Twitter. And please subscribe, share. It really means a lot. And if you haven't seen the first episode, please give that a watch as well. We're going to try to do this every week if we can, for as long as we can. And me and Elliott, we have a lot of music to talk about. So,
See you next Father's Day.
oh, okay. Thank you. Next week is Father's Day, so we'll have a very special Father's Day episode. So really looking forward to that, so stay tuned.